Hey everyone, welcome back to the Designer's Room where we go beyond the lash line. My name is Uni and I am a lash design mentor as well as mother. Today's topic is so exciting. This is a huge shout out to my beginners. I wanted to focus on helping you guys, but also giving those lash technicians a little bit of motivation to do some self exploration in their journey as well. This week's episode, I wanted to give a little TLC to my beginners. I know how it feels to be a beginner, and I want to share some insightful discussion on where you're at and possibly where you want to be. I think it's worth me briefly explaining where my mindset was when I was a beginner, and maybe my story can possibly shed a similarity in your own. As a beginner, I learned via a course that really didn't teach me much. And despite this person that I had learned from telling me that I could have faith in their education, I found myself also on YouTube searching for how to do certain things. And these certain things were very basic, classic, volume, mega volume. I remember that I had even if you guys remember Yegi Lash, that place on YouTube, I'm pretty sure they're still around. I was looking at their videos. I was looking at a lot of lash influencer videos, and I can say the beginner phase of my career was very YouTube university centered. And unfortunately, this is an experience for a lot of people. Look where I am now. So there is something positive that comes out of starting from humble beginnings. I do believe that. As a beginner, it did feel very discouraging because you've seen a lot of people doing what you felt like you wanted to do, as well as charge as much as you wanted to charge, and feeling like there is this huge gap between where you are right now and where you want to be. And with each lash set that is not coming out to 100% that you were looking for, it feels like where you want to be is way further than you had originally thought getting into this industry. If you're a beginner and you are in this same space, this conversation on today is especially for you. Some mindset mistakes that beginners make in the beginning. In my opinion, I think the number one mistake that beginners make as far as their mindset is believing that they're going to get it right the first time. And not so exaggerated or dramatic to the very first time, but their first year, their first month. You know, a lot of firsts and having expectations during a lot of their firsts that when their expectations are not met, that is a reflection of how successful that they will be in this industry. I feel like your mindset keeps you more stuck than your actual technique and application abilities do. A lot of the times people get in their own way, and I've said this in previous episodes as well, that the confidence that you do or do not have in this industry will definitely determine how far you are willing to go to bet on yourself. Then I feel like the next mindset mistake that beginners make that make them feel stuck is choosing to not invest in proper education. I feel like I see a lot of beginners wanting to do things the cheap route. They're wanting to take the $75 lash course and expecting or having high expectations for a investment that doesn't even match the true success value of what it is that they're looking to get out of it. If someone is charging $75 to teach you how to do everything that they're doing that supposedly is making them so much money, you need to kind of take a look at that and possibly take a step back and evaluate whether that is a good investment or not. No one is going to be teaching you something so lucrative for $75 because $75 is not a lucrative amount. That's another common mistake that I see. And then beginners will have these experiences with these instructors who are charging them $75 for a lash course, and they're not having a good educational experience with them. And then they don't want to invest in an actual reputable training. And the cycle just continues. It's like, okay, a $75 investment, you get discouraged. Let me go ahead and invest in a $100 lash course. And I honestly feel like when you are bargain shopping for education, you are going to get bargain results. And this shouldn't be a reflection of what a true and valuable training can really give to your career and the impact that it can have. Next, what's the difference between improving and elevating? This is a great one. So I like to think of improving as, for instance, let's take the classic technique, for example, even in like my case. So applying classics is definitely an art within itself. It is one of the most lighter techniques, but it is, in my opinion, one of the hardest techniques to do and actually execute properly. So I feel as far as classics go, if you are consistently working on applying classic lashes in a precise way, clean application, as well as attention to direction, then you are improving your classic sets. But to truly elevate your classic sets, you can take it a step further and actually incorporate some type of sophisticated mapping strategy in there. Maybe you can start to develop new mapping techniques that can totally elevate your classic sets, where it looks like it's not just a clean, pretty classic set, but it is a classic set that was completed with intention, and there's something unique about it, something very one of a kind about it. So I feel the difference between improving and elevating, it can kind of get confused because improving just refers to doing what it is that you're doing at a better level, versus elevating is stepping out of what you've been doing and transcending into a whole nother realm within that focus area. For instance, another example, you can be an amazing lash technician and you can improve being a lash technician. But when you transition into being a lash designer, you have now elevated your artistry into the realm of lash designing. Next, why does technique alone not make you a lash designer? I feel like technique alone does not make you a lash designer. I feel like when we use the word technique, that is closely related to being a lash technician. And let's break down technique technician. When you are lashing, there is that rule, that 2 mm away from the base of the lash line rule, the base to base rule, the no more than 2 mm than the client's natural lash. There are a lot of rules as it comes to applying lashes. And to be a successful and great lash technician, you must learn how to apply within these rules and regulations as it pertains to application. I feel like having a successful lash technique comes with being able to apply classics, hybrid, volume, mega volume in a clean, precise, and articulate way. The number one differentiator between the two is that one is just technique focused and the other is client focused. So your client is at the center, and everything that you do as far as application has your client's anatomy as well as her wants, her likes, her dislikes involved in the application. As a lash designer, you are making sure that your client always feels seen, and everything that you do is focused on said client. If I could only teach a beginner 3 things, what would it be? Ooh, this is a good one. I feel like there's so much great ones. I think my number one will be to have the confidence that you know that you're going to have when you get to where you want to be. And I think that people tend to enter in the industry with a lack of confidence and having confidence that reflects where they currently are versus where they want to be. If you have the confidence that reflects where you want to be, it's just a matter of time and practice that is going to get you to that place. Evaluating your mental headspace as well as your confidence is number one. 2, practice, 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 practice. I say this so much, and I feel like this is a tip that a lot of beginners get from possibly everywhere, that practice, 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 practice is so important. I feel like even to this day, if I'm not even, practicing on my lash strips when I'm making my handmade lashes, that my technique can kind of get a little rough, a little dusty. And I've been doing this for a while now. So just imagine you as a beginner haven't been doing this for years. This is completely new to you. It takes me about like maybe one set to get my muscle memory back and get it, back to 100. And that's based off of 7 years of experience versus a beginner. If you are not putting in the time and the effort to practice and get that muscle memory going, then you kind of subject yourself to being stagnant. And you're not practicing for perfection, you're practicing for improvement. You're not practicing in hopes that this next set is going to be the set. You're practicing in hopes that you're going to be better than the set that you did before. I know that we are in the middle of the episode or whatnot, but I wanted to show you my beautiful lashes. These are handmade 100% by me. I'm the person who handmade this. My 7 years of experience crafted into a small little box of handmade strip lashes. And I'm so pleased and so grateful to now be able to share my lash designs worldwide. So if you haven't already, please check them out. This is the style Love Is. The third thing that I would tell a beginner, don't focus on your competition. Don't focus on what people are doing around you. Don't focus on social media. Don't focus on the success of others. And please just stay true to why you started this. I feel like even as someone who is advanced and who has been doing this for a very long time, I've made it a rule of mine to not compare myself, my journey, my designs to others. And that's with years of experience and an actual resume to match it. So when you are a beginner and you are comparing yourself to other people, that negative self-talk will eat you alive. That will literally eat you to pieces. And your journey doesn't deserve that. You need to honor the person that you want to be more than honoring your feelings in this very moment. And sitting with the uncomfortability that comes with transitioning and getting into something new, but also realizing that there is a version of you who is successful at this already. And it's just time that it's going to take you to get there. So those are my top 3 tips. And I know that they're not really technique focused because I really do believe that when your mind is where it needs to be, technique will flow. If your mind is not where it needs to be, there will always be a blockage in your technique and application. Next, what would I tell my beginner self that would have saved me years? I think one thing that would have saved me years as a beginner would have been self-comparison. I feel like in the beginning, I was really comparing myself to others. I was comparing myself to people who aren't even lashing right now, to people who ended up dropping their, tweezers and going to a completely different field. I realized I was getting in a lot of my own way as a beginner in entertaining self-comparison. I did myself a huge injustice by comparing myself to others. And I would just tell my beginner self that it gets better. Like fine wine that gets better over time, it gets better. With practice and repetition, it's inevitable that it will get better. And through lashing, you can actually help and impact people's lives. And I think that part would have spoke very deeply to me because when I decided to pick up tweezers and genuinely being a philanthropist at heart, if I can help the world, if I can help whomever, I definitely would. I had no clue that I would become a lash mentor and have the ability to help people from across the world without even meeting them face to face. I think that is a superpower that was derived from being a lash technician, then lash designer, and now a lash mentor. So that's what I would have told myself, that it gets better than that. And if you're a beginner, I just want to let you know that it gets better than this too. It's not just the technique, it's just not just applying. This field can open up a Pandora box of possibilities, whether that's you, getting celebrity clientele, or whether that's you branching off and being able to be an educator, whether that's you getting into different specialty techniques and really making an impact on your clients and building true meaningful relationships with the people that you are servicing. It's much more than just lashing. And if you're a beginner, I want to let you know that too. If your heart space is in lashing for the benefit of income, that's one thing. But if you're truly looking to find a passion within this field, I just want to let you know that it is here that it is definitely available to you. You just have to sit in it, no matter how uncomfortable it is right now in this very moment. Just sit in it. I promise you it gets better. So thank you so much for tuning into the designer's room where we go beyond the lash line. So that's all I have for you guys today, my beginners. I absolutely love my beginners. I love y'all. Listen, I hope that this was the message that you needed to hear to give you the confidence and the courage to press on forward. I believe in you, and just know that you can always return to the designer's room if you're looking for any sort of soulful inspiration as you are on your lash design journey. And if you haven't already, please look into our resources. We have a ton of resources for all budgets, books, online courses, mentorship. We have all of that available to you if you need a little extra encouragement during your journey. So I look forward to seeing you next week on the Designer's Room. Bye.